Have a guess who America's biggest ally was in Japanese-controlled Vietnam during World War II. This guy, Ho Chi Minh. You might know him as the first person to fight and win a war against America in like almost 200 years. So how did America screw up so badly? I'm doing a little series about Vietnamese history that travelers going to Vietnam don't usually hear about, so give me a follow if you fancy making your travels come a little bit more alive with the lore. Before World War II, Vietnam was a French colony. That's where things like banh mi come from. And during World War II, Japan was in a bit of a mad dash for Australia and it captured Vietnam. Paris had already fallen to the Germans, so they're a bit of a mess. America wanted a reliable network of operatives in Vietnam to help them with intelligence and stuff. Step in your boy, Uncle Ho. At the time, he was a leader of the Viet Minh, who were set on overthrowing the French in Vietnam. Like, after the war, I guess everyone just assumed colonies would go back to being colonies. The OSS, who basically were the CIA before it was called the CIA, they found Ho Chi Minh and they were like, yeah, this could be the guy. And they didn't really know who he was, but the French did. And they were like, yeah, this dude's a pretty big anti-French rebel. But the Americans were like, doesn't matter, we just need someone quick. So they set a meeting with him, not in Vietnam, but in Kunming, China, because that was where the closest officers were. And this is something wicked. Ho Chi Minh walked there like over 100 miles and he had malaria. The guy is a freaking machine, but you can see why. Ho Chi Minh was like, this is Vietnam's chance. America is anti-colonial and even they know the struggles of trying to gain independence from a colonial power, right? So they could be an ally who could help Vietnam gain independence. Seems legit. What could go wrong? So he helps the US and the OSS agents love him. I actually found a CIA document that said every agent Ho Chi Minh met, he really impressed and that he was a really sweet guy. There's literally like no foreshadowing in this. And this will blow your freaking mind. Who was his main inspiration for securing independence of Vietnam? You're probably thinking the Soviet Union, right? Wrong. It was America. God damn, America really did him dirty. In 1912, he was a sailor on a French passenger liner, and he actually went to Boston. There, he was totally dazzled by the power of a country that got rid of its colonial ruler. He also met with all these nationalist groups, Pan-African movements, Korean liberation, and he saw how they were able to be a thing, whereas like in their colonial countries, they would 100% be thrown in prison. And this deeply affected his political outlook. Free speech, diversity, liberalism. After World War II, you could kind of say that the US did push for a post-colonial world. Post-trad empire. You know, like there was pressure on Europe to decolonize, and the US did go up to a fair few countries and were like, listen, give me a time frame for your decolonization. But which country was the big dog that refused? France. And that's, I'm afraid, all we have time for today. So catch me on the next episode of how America really did Ho Chi Minh dirty.